neutral, drop this a little bit. Yep.
Like I just,
yes,
like I'm
there.
into my
Don't go that far. Come back up about right there, okay? And try to pull that in. I'm going to bring you up. About right there is neutral spine, okay? Stay right there, because one of the things I want everybody to see is you feel the shakes, right? You're feeling the shake from your upper core from there to there, right? The lack of strength. So one of the things we'll do this year with the planks is get into these kind of positions where we're building more strength and stability through the upper part of your core, right? Okay? And so
I feel like the weakness through my arm is not my core.
well, it's all your working arms, your working chest, but I want you to learn to get its lower trap muscles and these muscles between the shoulder blades to fire to get you there. So that as you do anything in here from a plank to a ball, anything like that, where you can draw those into that position, and when you walk around, then that's where they're supposed to be. When you go into a block, your scapula are going to move up and out of that spot, which is fine. That should happen when you're doing the block. When the block's over, though, everything should come back to this position, and that's the problem. Unless we train that, you guys just stay here, right? Does that make sense? And you're using your arms more. What I want you to feel is, once you learn how to do this, you'll feel muscles around the front part of your rib cage and around your scapula, which are the right muscles to actually position your chest, arms, and shoulders where they need to be. Injury-wise.
You might actually be feeling the muscles and arms fatigue first right now.
Right now, because that's what you've trained before, right? And so now I'm saying, okay, that's great. There's a whole different set of muscles that are postural muscles that need to work, right? That none of which we've never really emphasized with you guys, right? And so now we're just going to change the way we do planks to get away from that, to do these other things. And ultimately down the road, where I really want you to go is down the road is I want you to have the ability to, if you can imagine, right, that you're able to roll out on a ball and do some kind of little things like this, where you're going down and coming up and going down and coming up, right? Because that should simulate, if you took my body and raised it up, what is that movement? That's a block in the air, right? If you can imagine, if you could take my whole body and lift it up, and I'm kind of in this position, I got to have all kinds of strength, stability through my abs, through my core, and my shoulders to be able to get there and hold that.
But aren't your scapulas separated when you do that?
They are, and that's what I'm saying in that block, right? But they're still working, right? If we've trained them, they're still working and holding the scapula in place. If we haven't trained them, for you guys, they're just going like that, and then you lose your stability. The thing I really want to emphasize with you when you squat, and I kind of said it last year one time, right? Part of your stability when you squat comes from glutes, comes from abs, and it's these same muscles, right? That when you go down and squat, I'm going to bet you $1.48 part of the back pain you get is the fact that these scapular muscles, they're not doing their job when you go to squat, right? To help pull your shoulders back, and when we do this thing and you get that pain, a lot of that is those same muscles, if I can.
But it never hurt when I was actually squatting. It was just like when we were playing.
Right. The point is, this muscle, I'm going to give you a little side view. Stay right there and then turn over here, okay? The connection is, I'm going to move your hair, this scapula and this glute, if you look in some anatomy, maybe we'll pull up a picture in a minute, they're like half of an X. If you look at the muscle fibers between this glute and that lat and everything, they draw together, okay? Same thing happens over there. Those guys draw together. The stability of and health of your spine then comes from not only your glutes and your ab muscles, but from these scap muscles working with the opposite hip. So even though you may not have had pain with it, that's one of the things we're trying to give you is whether it's trying to pass, and like when you were here 2 weeks ago, we said we want maybe a little bit more upright instead of there. Part of what pulls you up are some of these same muscles drawing between your hips and glutes, pulling you up to get you down to where you can hold that good posture and position, right, and not round and lose it there. Performance-wise, it helps you. Health-wise, long-term, it'll help your spine. It's giving you more stability on the muscles on the back side, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess what I'm having trouble
that's right.
envisioning is the moves in actual volleyball and because a few weeks ago when you were telling me to
right.
stay forward, when you're going for a ball, I feel like you just everything has to be rounded forward.
It doesn't have to be rounded forward. It needs to be an extension forward.
So what's the difference if my shoulders are forward?
I'll get some pictures to show you, but
the upper body isn't going to be straight up. It'll be tilted forward, but the alignment of the spine, right? So you can bend over there. I'm bent over, but the bend is where? It's at my hip joint, right? I've still basically got scapula, abs, and everything still in line. So we're not saying we're going to have you drop down there. We want the bend to happen at your hips, but rather than around my back and get into this position, okay, which you can play from there, that's what's typically taught, is it's not a very good position on the back long term, okay? And so a lot of people will probably end up having back issues down the road, and that's what I was saying out there is I think some of the back pain you get is a function of you just don't have the strength and stability through some of the scapular muscles to give your back support. But you're still going to be able to bend, but the bend is where? The bend is at the hip joint, right? The hip is hinging, but my back position, I'm still kind of firing a lot of those muscles between the scap and all those muscles back there to set your platform versus rounding and losing it there.
But the thing that we were seeing 2 weeks ago when we were filming you, see how Logan's back is rounded? Mm-hmm. Like you were getting in this really rounded back position, and see Stacy's back doesn't have much of a, she's got a little bit of a round right there, but she's mostly an extension. Right? And it's pretty straight, similar to that shot when the ball's out in front of her. And you were getting in this really rounded, you know, from your butt all the way to your shoulder position. And that, just speak to that position.
Yeah. That long term, you'll have serious back issues. Playing the volume that you guys are going to play, not only in club, but in your college careers, it will pay a toll on your back, okay? So we're not saying you won't ever bend. We're not saying you won't ever get out here, give me your arms and get your platform out there, okay? We're not saying your shoulders won't ever do that to play a ball. What we're saying is that if we don't correct that and strengthen that to where it gets back here, you're also going to have shoulder and back problems because of that, right?
So it's more of like a safety for long term versus like giving you power now.
Yeah, I wouldn't say we're going to give you a lot of power. Go ahead.
Well, it's not just safety long term. I mean, look at this position, right? Yeah. This straight back position on this really low ball in front is the most efficient way and effective way to move, right? Because the bend is in her hips, and her trunk becomes this stable, stiff thing. And from that stable, stiff thing, you're going to get into extended positions sometimes when you're blocking, when you're passing, when you're in extension. Mm-hmm. And that's okay. Your shoulder's going to be able to tolerate the few times the game takes you into these really extreme positions. We don't want even these extreme positions to round your back or make your back arch. Does that make sense?
I want you guys to feel something. The proof's in the pudding. So I want you to just stand. Both of you stand here, face that direction, and I'm going to let you feel the difference in strength. So stand over here, Gab. Same thing next to Jordan, okay? And just stand up tall, okay? I'm going to put you in a good position, okay? So put your arms out there, and I want you to, just like you were going to block, and I'm going to actually put you in this position, okay, right there. Hold that. And I'm not saying you'll ever hit like that, but I want you to feel the difference. Tighten your abs, draw your abs in and up, draw your abs in and up, okay? And I'm just going to push down with a little bit of force, and I want you to feel what kind of strength and stability you have through your body to fight me, right? To resist that, okay? So you probably feel it in your low back a little bit, right? You feel it in your shoulders, but you feel pretty strong there, right? I have to push pretty hard to try to break you, okay? Now, okay, I'm going to put you in a bad position, and I'm going to try the same thing, okay? Now, really round your shoulders out there like you're really reaching for a ball. Round your back a little bit more. Take your arms out in front, okay? I'm going to do one at a time. Relax for a second, Gab, okay? I won't push hard, okay? But I'm going to push on here. You feel the difference in strain? Feel how in your low back you feel a little pressure in there, in your shoulders, and I'm not pushing very hard, but I can start to break you without very much effort, right? Yeah. Go back to the other position. It's a difference in where things are aligned and how much strength and stability you have. So it does play into performance. It's not just a safety. It's actually, if we want to talk about strength versus power, okay, you have more strength. Go back to a good position. I'm going to go back and forth. Let you feel it. Okay? Pull these guys down. Tighten your abs in and up. Okay? I'm going to press down. What do you feel different there?
Feel it pulling through here.
Right, more through your bicep. Your core, your shoulders, and your abs, you don't feel any strain there, right? Because it's in more aligned position like the one athlete was in, right? Go rounded. Bring your arms really out again one more time. Okay. Resist. Feel any difference? What difference do you feel?
Just at the back of the shoulder, I guess.
Okay, okay. Let you try it.
Okay.
All right, so good position, okay? So we're going to draw this back and in and up, or down and in and up, okay? Draw your abs up, okay? Lightly, I'm just going to press there. Resist. Keep resisting. Okay? Now, round forward, round your shoulders, put your platform out in front.
Daddy lived when she came in last year.
This is where she was.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
Right?
Right now, resist, okay? And as I push on you, one, I can start to break you without very much effort, but what do you feel? Do you feel any pressure in your back, in your spine, in your shoulders? Do you feel a difference in strength?
It's funny though, because when I'm straight up, I feel it in my core. Like,
Right.
I feel like my core is like invincible.
And that's what we want. That's what we're trying to do is say, you feel that strength you have through there when everything's engaged?
Yeah.
We're trying to take that into your play, right?
I gotcha.
Okay? So one more time. Take it into a good position, right? Okay, I push it down. Okay? Things are solid, right? And the forces are spread out.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I can feel it too, which is nice.
Yes. Yeah, versus trying to tell you.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
And you're pretty, there you go. That's like very good.
So it's like if you're bending over, everything from your hips to your shoulders is bending versus like your shoulders hunching. That's kind of the concept. Okay, I gotcha.
And think of it as a lot of it is really your spine angle is different. When your spine is in this position, it's kind of straight, it's solid, right? It's strong. When it gets down here, it gets more focused. The pressure goes into your low back and your disc, and it's just you're not as strong there.
I gotcha.